What's going on, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back. Force here once again with some more StarCraft 2 commentary. Today's game is going to be between Arew and Tarson. This is a Terran versus Protoss, Tarson versus Arew here on the map Cloud Kingdom. And let's begin down over here in the lower left-hand spawn position with our blue Protoss player, Arew. Arew took first place at the Baltic Sprint number 2, as well as the Baltic Sprint number 4 back in February of 2011. That is, of course, quite a long while ago. However, most recently, in May of 2012, he took first place at the WCS Combined Europe Qualifier number 2. So after a little over a year of no major tournament placement, taking first place at the WCS Combined European Qualifier, not too shabby if I do say so myself. A lot better than I could do. His opponent up here in the upper right-hand spawn position is our red Terran player, Tarson. I do believe we actually just had a commentary not too long ago with Tarson in it as well, but let's recap his information. Took third place at the ESL Pro Series Poland Season 3 in January of 2012. That was on January 16th. 2 weeks later, on January 29th, he took second place at the Spirit LAN 9. That, my friends, is some player information, of course, courtesy of TeamLiquid.net on their Liquipedia. If you guys want any player information yourself, that is where you should go. Got a probe scout now moving out for Arew, grabs the Zelnaga Tower and then continues along his merry way. No scout moving out for Tarson, though. Tarson is coming out with his refinery. Looks to be pretty standard timing. Does also finish this wall off here. You can see actually trying to path through with that SCV. Hasn't been able to do it yet. Wow. SCV giving him all sorts of issues. But there we go. Finally able to get an SCV out, although he's just chilling for a moment. So you saw what he did there. He finished the wall off just momentarily. Now, ideally, you get that SCV immediately to scouting. That's the point. That's, why he didn't just sit there building it, because he wanted to move out to scouting immediately. But as you saw, he had a whole bunch of issues with his SCV. You stop at building and continue at building, and ideally it'll path right through. But he had to go around, and then his SCV was kind of dancing back and forth, and what a headache. First Marine now out. This is going to force Arew's probe back. Don't think he's going to get the kill, though. No, not able to do so. SCV scout for Tarson now in the main of Arew. Arew looking fairly normal as well, going a little gas heavy early on as he has the second assimilator now up and running. First Stalker coming through, as well as the Warp Gate research, and actually chrono boosting out that Stalker. So likely we'll be moving out with that. Get some map control early on. Against just Marines, you're pretty solid. Now, he's not going to be able to do much to this bunker here once the Marines get inside of it, but he's going to be able to at least control the towers in the early stage of the game. With this first Stalker, which is, where the heck is it? There it is. This first Stalker now making it towards that first tower. He's already got that with the probe. SCV Scout actually pulling up to the upper left. Going to be using that later on to pull in for secondary scouting, to scout if Arew has an expansion, and also try to get into the main to see what his production facilities and his tech consist of. Now the Stalker will be moving up, and again, walking past that, oh boy! Little Marine micro, doing lots of damage to that Stalker, getting him down pretty low. But he, with that speed advantage, is able to sneak away, and he should be all set. Actually surprised that he's not just sitting at the tower, to be honest with you. Now here comes that secondary scout, as I mentioned, so as you can see, Tarson now moving in, scouts that expansion, gets hit by the Zealot, but it also makes it into the main, scouts the robotics, Sentry comes out, SCV's not escaping. Unless Arew messes up. There we go. SCV gets taken out. So he got what he needed, though. Tarson got that intel. Now Tarson still on one base and actually opening up with some Banshee play as he then moves into an expansion. It's a little bit of delayed expansion here as he goes for a quick Banshee. At the moment, just sitting on a few Marines, and actually no more Marines in production. Coming out with a reactor here on the barracks and a tech lab being built here on the factory. Let's take a look here. First Banshee now finished. Second Banshee in production. What does Arew have? Well, Arew's got a few sentries. He's got an Immortal and he's got a Stalker. Now the few sentries in the Stalker are going to help a lot against that Banshee. The best is the Stalker, though. Sentries aren't the greatest. It does have 3 sentries. No cloak research though, so Tarson is just going to be relying on doing some micro. We'll get a probe up over here in the upper left-hand spawn position. We'll keep an eye on that. And actually going to be following up with some tank action here. Second Banshee now coming through. Again, no cloak research because he wanted to transition into tanks. And double Marines coming out of that racks there. And now a Raven. Ooh, Tarson. So he's going to be opening up with some Banshee harass, which he hasn't started yet. There we go. Now finally starting this Banshee harass. He's going to be following it up with a very strong push there. You're going to see more and more Marines and siege tanks come out. Siege Tech is likely to start researching at some point before that push, or at least maybe when the push starts. And it's a pretty devastating push if done correctly. And if the Protoss player is not prepared, we'll see how Arew prepares. One Stalker, not enough to deal with the Banshee, takes him out. Now a second and third Stalker coming through though, and that's enough to force him back. This Banshee sitting with 1 kill. This one right here sitting with 1 kill as well. But they're still both alive. And that's the thing, you know, Tarson at any point can just pull back for repairs, and just getting a little bit of a poking and prodding here and there makes this harass worth it. So he's still chilling out with that one there. He's got one over here by the tower. Arew's got enough anti-air to force that back though. Siege Tech now starting, as I mentioned, would likely be happening. That Tech Lab now all alone as the starport has pulled back over there. And Arew with a proxy pylon plans a push here. So off of 2 bases, he's got 3 warp gates plus that 1 robo that's coming out with an observer now. Does he have an observer in play yet? No, he doesn't. Siege Tech getting close to finish. Not there yet though. Not going to be finished when this push first hits. If he can buy himself some time though to get those tanks up and running. Up a lot. SCV's now pulling off the line. Mass SCV repair on the bunker. 1 bunker goes down though. But even unsieged, those tanks do a lot of damage, plus that Marine DPS, and as you can see, Arew unable to break that, and now Siege Tech is up, and the likelihood of Arew pushing any further is very slim. See how far that tank line extends there. Oh, that's so much damage. You gotta be so careful. Banshee's moving forward, trying to pick off some of those Immortals. Stalkers counteract that, force them back, but again, they're still alive. So just repair them up and you're all set. Now transitioning into some Colossus here. Gonna be seeing Arew come out with that Robotics Bay. Pulls back with his forces. 2 more gateways also coming through. See those right over there. And now the 1-1 weapon and armor upgrades for Tarson. Tarson's still not moving out though. He is moving out with his Banshees, but still not moving out with the bulk of his force. And Factory Scout, so he's going to be transitioning into heavy bio. Look at this, building 4 more barracks. Transitioning from this Marine Tank Raven with that opening of Banshees into some heavy bio. Bio, of course, the more standard unit composition. Now switching into tanks there just buys him defense basically. And as you saw, Arew, when he pushed out, while his first engagement didn't break all the way through, that second engagement, without that Siege Tech, it could have been a little bit harder if he was just sitting on bio. Tarson continuing to do some damage here with these Banshees, now up to 4 and 9 kills respectively. Take a look at the number of worker kills. Tarson has killed off 9 workers this game. Take a look at Arew vision. Whoa, where is his observer? I swear to you he had an observer. Why is it not? Maybe he's thinking the cloak research is coming through, but he's got no eyes. He's got no eyes over here. Doesn't really know. Well, he definitely doesn't know about this heavy bio transition, that's for certain. I mean, it's pretty standard though. Bio is the standard composition of choice, so you know whether or not he should expect bio. Answer's probably yes. Mech's possible though, especially come Heart of the Swarm. Oh boy, can't wait for those mech changes. Should be exciting. TVP matchup gonna change from Marine Marauder Medevac Ghost. Yes, please. That'd be nice. I mean, Protoss, they've got Colossus Gateway or High Templar Archon Charge Zealot Gateway, but the more options, the more viable options, the better. Of course, there are zany builds, and you see all sorts of crazy timing pushes too, but generally speaking, it's Marine Marauder Medevac versus Colossus Gateway High Templar, Charge Zealot Archon, Gateway. Yeah, that's the standard. Tarson now moving on to a third base, continues to churn out that bio, get weapons and armor level 2 coming through, now just coming through with that stim pack too. And the Observer Scout finally, for Arew, making its way across the map. Took it long enough, I'd say. Banshee's continuing to be active. Gonna be pushing right now and doing some damage over here to this building third. And try to chase down the probe. Walks by the stalkers. Oh, they don't have blank though, so. Oh boy, it doesn't matter because Tarson fumbles a little bit there. Got some stalkers chilling over here too. This poor Banshee's got to be terrified. Get those charge upgrades coming through out of that Twilight Council. Templar Archives also in production right now. Armor level 2 upgrades and no weapons. No weapons coming through. He's building another forge though, so we'll be seeing weapons eventually with that second forge coming out. Also coming out with a Warp Prism. Now, looks like those 2-2 upgrades are finished. He is getting ship weapons level 1, which will help him against those Colossus. And he is also getting the weapons level 3 for his bio. A little bit of mobilization right now for Tarson. Decides now is the time to push, and he is gearing up to hit this third, which he scouted out, of course, with this Banshee.
Our SCVs are under attack.
And here it goes. Forward scanning, spots everything. Viking's gonna lead the way against those Colossus.
Additional supply depots.
This is looking a little scary. Look at that discrepancy in the army supply right now. Tarson 123 to the 88. You can see that Raven in front, dropping a point defense drone to help protect those Vikings. Against the Stalkers, helps a lot. There's the point defense. Bio stims up. We still got a tank over here, 2 tanks. Laying down some splash damage, still the one. Decimating that front line, and Arew just gets worked over and calls the GG. What a quick end to this game here between Tarson and Arew. Tarson opens up with a little bit of harass. We see an attempted counterattack, which actually ended up pretty much failing for Arew. And then we saw a whole lot of nothing until this push, and I guess that was enough because Arew was just not prepared. Strong push from Tarson absolutely overwhelmed him and forced the quick GG. Thanks for watching, guys. Hopefully you enjoyed it. As always, if you like the content, please subscribe. Keep watching and keep owning.